My name is Eleanor, and I live in London, a city where people like me are never seen, never heard. I am a middle-aged woman, 35 years old, with 3 children and a husband who is drunk all the time. Every morning, I wake up before the sun rises, not because I want to, but because I have no other choice. My husband, John, does nothing but drink. He used to work in the factory, but now he just sits in the tavern, leaving me to do everything. I clean for wealthy families, tidy up in luxurious estates, but I live in a small, shabby room with no sunlight. My job is to clean tirelessly from morning to night, with no rest, with only one purpose: to feed my 3 children. When I look into the room where the wealthy ladies have breakfast, with food piled high and their fine clothes, I only wish that one day I could have those things: a full meal, a new dress, and not have to endure these long, exhausting days. I don't dream of a rich life, but I just wish I could give my children a better future, a future where they won't have to suffer like I do. But no matter how tough life gets, I can never give up hope. Hope that one day we'll have a different life, one where we don't have to live in the shadows of this city. Every morning, I wake up in the dark when the streets haven't even stirred, and another long day begins. I have no time to rest, no time to wonder if there's another life beyond these cleaning tasks. My husband is still drunk, unable to help me. My 3 children are still asleep in our small room where they don't know what it's like to have enough to eat. And me, I have to dive into work, cleaning in those grand estates, scrubbing the lavish furniture that I will never own. The rooms with warm fireplaces, the tables filled with delicious food, all of it so far out of reach. My job is to scrub the floors, tidy up, and sometimes I have to stand by, silently watching the family eat, but never allowed to sit down, never allowed to eat with them. I know I am just a ghost in their house, a ghost no one cares about. No one has ever asked me how I feel standing in the dark, simply because I am a servant. I don't have the right to be tired. I don't have the right to complain. That's what this life of poverty has taught me: silence. No complaints, just work, and hope that one day I might be able to see the light. Every time I step into these estates, I feel like a ghost. These houses are grand and bright, nothing like where I live. Crystal chandeliers shine from the ceiling, soft carpets cover the floors. The dining tables are full of delicious food, things I could never dare to dream of. I stand there waiting for them to finish their meal, my eyes skimming over the food that I can only smell but not touch. As I scrub the floors in these luxurious rooms, I can't help but feel the stark difference. They, the noble ladies, eat and drink their fill, live in spacious and comfortable rooms, while me, I can only stand outside watching them, but never allowed to sit at the table with them, never allowed to enjoy a meal like that. The feeling, it's like an invisible curtain separating us. I have no right to sit with them. I have no right to share a story or even to be heard. While I clean for them, they sit in velvet chairs, chatting happily, treating me like part of the furniture in the room. Meanwhile, I stand in the shadows, no presence, no voice, just a servant. I live in poverty while they live in wealth and power. The tables full of food while I have to eat the leftovers in the kitchen, mostly dry bread and cold soup. I know I will never have a life like theirs, and I will never sit at the dining table with them. But one thing I know is that I can raise my children so they don't live in the shadow of those carpets and fancy dresses. I hope one day they'll live a life I never could. Each day goes by and I have to face the truth. My husband, John, is no longer the man I once loved. He changed after losing his job at the factory. He became dependent on alcohol, and he spends his days sitting in the tavern, leaving me and the children at home. He never asks me what I need, never asks about the children, and never notices the tiredness in my eyes. On many nights, I lie awake, alone in the dark, while he is drunk on his endless binges. Sometimes I want to leave, to run away from this life, but I can't. I have 3 children. I can't let them live without their mother. Every day that passes, I feel like a shadow with no purpose, no hope. But I keep going because I know my children need me. They need a mother to care for them, to raise them. Day after day, I clean, I wash, I do everything I can to make enough money to feed the family. I don't have time to think about myself. Sometimes I just want a good night's sleep, a little rest, but no. Every day I wake up to tasks that never end. The leftover meals I share with my children, the long hours of hardship without rest. And my husband, John, is always there, in the dark room, saying nothing, mumbling about things that don't make sense. But I can't leave him, no matter what. He is still my husband, and I still love him, even though there's nothing left of the man I once dreamed of. My whole life has been a long, endless day. I've worked tirelessly, endured countless hardships, but deep inside, I always hold on to the hope that my children won't have to live like I have. I can't give them a life of wealth, but I will give them something I never had: freedom. I look at my 3 children. They are the only reason I keep going. They may not understand everything I've been through, but I hope one day they will, and they won't have to suffer like I have. I want them to be educated, to have the freedom to choose their own path without being enslaved by hard labor, without living in the shadow of the rich and powerful. I don't wish for a perfect life. I don't ask for anything more than for my children to have a better, brighter future. I want them to have the freedom to dream, to laugh, and to be loved without worrying about whether there will be enough to eat. So, no matter how difficult life gets, I will never give up. I will live for them.